Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Megan Tady, who's here to share with us her new novel, Bluebird Day. So what happens when a legendary skiing duo is forced to face buried family secrets and rekindle their bond after years apart? Well, don't miss this page-turner of a novel that's equal parts heartwarming, hilarious, and completely unforgettable. Megan Tady is a writer and editor running the company Wordlift, and her writing has appeared in the Huffington Post and Ms magazine, among many others. She was a finalist in the 2021 Penguin Random House Student Fiction Awards. So welcome to the show, Megan Tady.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
Well, Megan, it's such an honor to have you here and to talk about your new novel, Bluebird Day. What inspired you to write this book?
That's a great question. So, Bluebird Day is about mother and daughter downhill ski racers, Claudine and Wiley Potts. Claudine was an Olympian, and the daughter, Wiley, she was going to be in her footsteps, but she quits the sport to go to art school, and it's caused a rift between them, and they haven't spoken for many years. Now they are back together in Switzerland when an avalanche socks in their town, and the only place to stay is a youth hostel with bunk beds. And, I wanted to explore a mother and daughter relationship who are healing through an estrangement. I wanted to look at really high stakes competitive women and athletes, and I wanted to set it in Switzerland, where there was an actual avalanche in 2018. It stranded 13,000 tourists, and I remember seeing that headline and filing it away, thinking that's a great idea for a book, and sort of forcing proximity between characters. So when it came time to write this novel, I sort of pulled that idea from the drawer.
Oh my goodness. I think everyone remembers that. What an event that was, and to incorporate that in your book. I mean, you've done this so remarkably.
Oh, thank you. I traveled to Switzerland in my 20s, so it also inspired that location. It's such a magical place. But I also interviewed folks who were on the ground in 2018 when this happened, including, the head of tourism in Zermatt, Switzerland, where this happened. And, what was it like to have to announce to all these tourists, your ski plans are over and you're stranded here for 5 days. No one was hurt, luckily. And to just really get a sense for what that felt like. And I interviewed tourists who were stuck there and the people who were driving the helicopters and airlifting folks out. And I wanted to really imbue it with a lot of rich detail.
You've done so much research for this book. What type of research did you do with professional skiers and Olympians?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was fortunate to interview several Olympic skiers and find out what this sport is really like at the highest level. And not only that, but what it's like to then retire from a sport that you've been doing probably since you were 4 or 5, and now maybe you're only in your mid 20s or 30 and you are considered old and you have to completely transition away from this and restart your life. And for my character Claudine, she's been really struggling with that change, and she imagined she'd be coaching her daughter. So it was a bit of a double whammy for her. So these skiers were really generous with their details about what life is like as a competitive athlete, and then on the flip side, the struggles and the mental health struggles with reinventing themselves when the sport is over for them.
So, what significance does the title Bluebird Day have?
So, a bluebird day is a bright blue, sunny day after a snowstorm. I'm in Massachusetts right now. It's snowing here today. There's a snow day, and the sky's very gray. But tomorrow, it might be a bright blue day, and you would sort of think, did that storm even happen? And for me, there's a metaphor baked into that term because the mother and daughter they've been through this storm in their lives together, the storminess of their relationship. And they're kind of pushing through it and hoping to get to sunnier skies and to brighter days. But it's unclear if they'll be able to do that. No spoilers. I'll leave it to your readers to find out if they do.
I think that that's a good place to start because we'll get in trouble if we keep talking about that.
That's true.
Well, and so earlier you were saying that some of the relationships were mirrored after, or you drew inspiration after some of the relationships that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I think, my own mom and I had bouts of estrangement growing up and when I was in my 20s. And when I was, probably 24 or 25, made a really important, bold move where we decided to every week do an outdoor challenge together. And we went canoeing and we took hiking trips, and I feel like walls come down when you do these physical challenges together, when you're not just hashing out the same old things, but you're working side by side, you're doing activities together, and you're reveling in nature, and your walls come down, and you begin to see each other in maybe a renewed way. And so I drew inspiration from that as I began to write this book.
What would you like readers and our listeners to take away from this book?
I think this book at its heart is about forgiveness and self-forgiveness. I think forgiveness is not a linear process. It happens in fits and starts. And, you make a few steps forward and then you're stepping back. Estrangement doesn't have to be a scary word. It can just mean hitting the pause button on hurtful dynamics. You both retreat back into your safe space and do the work to then come back together and hopefully create a better dynamic. And I think that's ultimately what Bluebird Day is about.
Well, Megan, where can our readers and listeners connect with you and learn more about your work and be part of your community?
I am on Instagram at Meg Tady, Tady, and my website is megantady.com.
Well, Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you so much, Marianne.
Well, thank you, Megan. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your new novel, Bluebird Day. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.